In this lesson, we'll be creating this easy cactus still life with acrylic colour. It's a lot of fun and easier than it looks to do. So let's get into it. For this project, we'll be using a 30 by 40 centimetre Discovery canvas, a pencil, some paper towels, a Gallery Series brush set, a 50mm abstract expression brush, a number 6 palette knife, and a tear-off palette. For paint, we'll be using some titanium white, medium yellow, orange, brilliant red, cerise, turquoise, sap green, burnt sienna, yellow ochre and burnt umber, all in the acrylic colour range. First we have to transfer the simple outline. You can find this outline on our webpage, and to transfer it, simply shade the back side. Lay it shaded side down, tape it into position and retrace the outline onto the canvas using a pencil. Once the outline is transferred, retrace the outline directly to darken the line work. We do this so we can see the line work under the paint when we come to lay that down. We can now start with the cactus. Begin by squeezing out some sap green and mix in some titanium white and cover the whole cactus. This will be the mid-green. We can then mix a light green that will sit on the highlights. This colour can be created with sap green mixed with titanium white in equal proportions. Lay this into the appropriate areas. The outline sheet has guidance on where to lay the light green and the dark green over the mid-green that is already laid down. The dark green can be created with brilliant red mixed into sap green. Using red to mix with green is the cleanest way to darken a green. Lay this colour into the appropriate area. The pot can then be painted in with a mix of burnt sienna, yellow ochre and orange. We can then mix some burnt umber into the sienna and lay this tone into the right side of the pot, the one in shadow. While the coat is still wet, add some titanium white to the mix and lay this tone into the left side in highlight. The inside of the pot can be painted with burnt umber. Then a mix of sienna with a lot of titanium white, so it's very light, can be created and painted over the rim of the pot. The flower is painted in with orange, and while this is still wet, brilliant red is blended into the tips of each petal. For the soil, we create a rich dark tone from burnt umber, brilliant red and sap green, and paint this into the inside of the pot. The background is painted in with cerise, but to create a little interest, we squeeze out some titanium white and mix a little white in at the beginning with the cerise so the tone is lighter. As you move to the left, darken the colour with more cerise as you move across the canvas. The cactus and pot are sitting on a table. To suggest the wooden grain, we can first paint the table with burnt sienna, then lightly drag burnt umber over the wet coat. The tablecloth is painted with turquoise. Like the cerise background, the coat has titanium white blended into it in the left side and darkened as the colour moves to the right. A shadow is suggested by painting in some cerulean blue to the right of the pot. The flower didn't look bright enough, so I decided to paint some lemon yellow over the petals. The last step is to create the spines on our cactus. First, create a mix of yellow ochre and titanium white in roughly equal proportions. We then use the end of the brush and create a series of dots down each rib. Let this dry, then create the spikes by flattening out the flat part of the brush as it is charged with paint. The brush can then be tapped on its end onto each dot to create thin, consistent lines in a star shape. While you're here, check out some of Mont Marte's other projects. Explore this new home of creativity and check out the Create section of the website. Here, you will discover a whole heap of free projects and how-tos to keep your creative juices flowing. We can then add a dollop of yellow on the middle of each spike cluster. Well, we hope you enjoyed the project and hope you've picked up something you can use with your art. We love to see you create, so be sure to snap a photo and hashtag Mont Marte Art or tag us on Instagram or Facebook so we can see what you've come up with. Thanks for watching and we'll see you again soon.